You're listening to the Booze and Bloodshed Podcast. Christmas edition of Booze and Bloodshed Podcast.
I'm Leah.
And I am Brandon. We're so happy that you've chosen to join us this morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you may be listening from. And as always, we're here to discuss all things boozy and bloody, true crime and horror movies.
Are you okay?
Will be our focus every week, along with alcoholic beverages that we think will pair well with the subject of each episode. And today,
we are going to be talking about Black Christmas and Delirium's Noel.
2021 Delirium Noel. So, I think, Leah picked this one up today. And we've already done one Delirium beer, but we've not done a Delirium Noel or a Christmas beer. So this is Delirium Noel specifically, because the Christmas beer is an amber or something like that? Is that what it was?
Yeah. I'm kind of nervous about this.
Why?
I don't really like holiday beers.
And it's a Belgian Dark Strong Ale, which is right up your alley.
And I'm I'm putting a lot of faith in this.
And
because you know what's funny is I picked that up and I didn't realize it was a Belgian Dark Strong. I just saw Belgian Ale in there and I was like, oh hell yeah, I like Belgians. Well, boy was I wrong, because I hate Belgian Dark Strong.
You don't know. You might like this one though.
I might, because I do like Delirium.
We've had Delirium. Was it Nocturne or whatever? We've had two Deliriums.
Delirium Deliria is my jam.
That's a triple, right?
Oh, yes. It's so good.
That's a really great beer.
It is.
So maybe this will be surprising. So this is a bomber bottle. It's got a cork on top. It's caged, a cork cage. It's really nice. It's very nice.
It's a big bomber.
It's a very nice looking beer.
There's like a total innuendo in there. That's a big bomber.
It's a big ass bomber. What's the size of this thing? It is, let's see, Belgian Ale, 1 pint. It looks so huge. It's 1 pint. So
it's a pint?
It's a pint. So I'm going to unscrew the cage.
Are you sure? That looks like way bigger than a pint.
That's what it said. I've got glasses on this week, so I know what this says. I look so stupid. I've got like a little bit of a headache too. So I've got sunglasses on.
You look like you're about to like play the keyboard in like an 80s band.
Like sunglasses, and then I got reading glasses over it.
Oh, what is the band with the hair?
Flock of Seagulls?
Yes.
I don't have big hair though.
No, but like just the glasses thing. It looks like you're about to go like.
Gotcha. I'm gonna do what? The keyboard thing that keyboardists do?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna take the cork off. It's gonna be a nice sound. Here it goes. Oh shit!
Oh, that was nice.
You see the smoke?
Oh shit! That was a good one.
Ooh, it smells good.
That was a pop.
Smell that. Give that a sniff.
That does smell good.
Mm-hmm.
It smells very fermented.
Do you want me to pour yours, or do you want to pour your own?
I don't care. Whatever.
I'll pour it. Let's see. Let's do yours first.
I love the glug, 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 glug.
So I'm trying not to pour it too aggressively because I don't want it to be like too foamy.
Oh, that's like plenty. Oh.
That's plenty. Oh, okay.
Yeah, or that. I'll take that.
Now I'll pour mine.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay, let's do mine.
We're all over the place. It's got a nice head on it. Nice full head.
Got a nice head.
Good retention.
Look at you.
I know it. I know.
The Joe D lick. All right.
The what?
Joe D's, that guy on YouTube that I used to watch all the time.
Oh.
The smoke guy. Oh, smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Look at how much dead air there is on that. Okay. I'm going to pour a little bit more of mine. Pour. Do you need some more in yours?
Look at this.
Oh, shit. Here, let me give you. What are you looking at?
Like, the beer just keeps building up the head, like, more and more. That's plenty. That's good. Thank you.
It's meringue, almost. Mm-hmm. It's like a meringue.
It really is. It's really thick. There's something black in it.
Well, maybe it's yeast sediment or something. I'm actually on the very bottom of the bottle. I'm going to swirl it just a little bit, so if there's any yeast sediment, Are you okay?
No, look at that.
Like I can see. Fuck you. So I'm trying to swirl. I'm trying to swirl to get any yeast sediment at the bottom. I want it in my glass.
I think we should take a picture of this.
Well, take a picture. I'm trying to do this real quick.
Like,
ooh, look at mine.
in this glass and everything.
All right, get your phone real quick and take a picture. Here, mine looks nice too. Here, get this.
Well, yours is a lot better than mine.
Well, I mean, I try to do you right too. There's so much dead air in this one so far. That's okay though. Nothing like having that background of stuff.
Not the best picture I've ever taken, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, let's get closer with that. You know.
We haven't even tried it yet. We're
still taking pictures and stuff, and I'm pretty sure this is really.
Can you turn that like a little more out? Yeah.
I'm sure this is really captivating for people listening. Okay, that's good. I think. So we're going to go straight into it. Yeah, that's good. That'll work. That will work. And so...
I'm excited to try this.
A while ago you were scared to.
Well,
so this delirium is a pours amber with a thick foamy head that reduced to lace after a few minutes. The aroma of this Belgian strong ale is unmistakably Belgian yeast, sweet malts, and spice. It's a sweet with caramel, spice, bread, and a touch of dark fruit notes. There's a lively mouthfeel from the carbonation and just a bit of alcohol burn on swallowing.
I think it says a lot that says after a few minutes it reduces to lace. Like, that's some pretty good head retention.
Good head retention, nice carbonation. Let's see, let's give it a sniff.
In Delirium?
Oh, I mean, that smells so much like Belgian sweet malt bread.
And Delirium,
Spicy.
I've noticed, especially like with Deliria, they're really carbonated beers.
Yeah, typically most beers over there, especially, and Belgian dark strong ale are supposed to be kind of like this. But yeah, I wonder why this is Noel version. What do they do something special to make this Noel?
I don't know.
Maybe some spice. Let's go for it. Let's see what's up.
They put the Santa hats on the elephants. Noel.
That's so sweet, so cute. Here we go.
Oh, that's good.
That's really good.
It's a little metallic. Which, when I say that, I mean it tastes like blood.
God damn. Everything that Delirium makes, my glasses are all crooked and shit now. Look at that. Anything they make is so good.
This is good. It is good, though.
Aside from the metallic
Aside
descriptor.
from the fact that it tastes like blood.
It tastes so good, like metallic and blood. Oh,
I think that
God.
really lends to my Halloween spirit. Tastes like blood. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. It tastes like blood. So we're doing Delirium. We're going to still drink on this a little bit. And then the next thing we're going to do is talk about Black Christmas in 1974.
Yes. I get a little like plumminess to this.
It's you, man. You get some plum.
Some plum. A little banana.
Little bloody, but yeah, you get bananas on this. Let me go.
A bloody banana.
I mean, I can kind of see that a little bit. It's very spicy.
It is.
But it's not like a Christmas spiced beer. It's very subtle.
And the spice thing is actually why, because they did have quite a few beers over there that were like Christmas beers. Because I went to Specs to get this, but I didn't get them because every beer said with holiday spices. It's like, what the fuck is a holiday spice? Like,
you don't know what holiday spices are?
Like what?
Cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice.
See, I kind of feel about that how I feel about pumpkin in beer. Like, I just feel like it should not be in there.
I don't know, man. Some beers go along with it really well.
I don't know.
Ambers are good with Christmas spices in it.
You know who actually had that? Then you probably would have liked me to pick it up. It was an amber with holiday spices. Was Tups. They had two different.
Really?
They had two different Christmas beers with holiday spices.
Old Tups.
They did. I was surprised by that. So I almost got it just because it wasn't an IPA. But I didn't. They had a full-grown man Christmas beer.
Yeah, maybe it's an imperial stout, and I'm sure that would be good. But
with holiday spices.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's good, but man, we did an Imperial Stout last week, right?
Yeah. Well, we've done that like the last few times.
Oh, and then next week or in 2 weeks, the 31st, Martin House is releasing Acheron. And I'm a fanboy of Acheron.
They had a ton of Martin House beer over there this time. Normally, it's only like a few different ones. They probably had at least 10.
Martin House is getting out and about.
And then there was like was it RAR?
Mm-hmm.
That had...
Like a Dirty Santa or something like that?
No, I did see one of those, but there was one brewery that had a Snickerdoodle beer. And I was like, I don't know about that.
I'm not sure about that. So, yeah, this is really good. And, you know, I've had some Belgian Dark Strong Ales that are like super malty. Mm-hmm. This isn't super malty. It's actually malty and a little bit on the
crisp.
Yeah, it's got a dryness to it.
I would actually say this is a good holiday beer.
10%. It's nice. It's very nice. That's my Gordon Ramsay voice when I'm cooking and eating stuff and drinking stuff. That's very nice. Very nice beer.
It's very...
I feel like there's a lot of dead air in this episode. Is it just me?
Well, no.
Is it just me?
What?
God damn.
I think this was a good choice. Because the other option was a Martin House beer, but I think we may save that for another time.
Yeah, you got the Martin House beers though, right?
Yeah, I have them.
Yeah, let's do that next time. Well,
but you said with those you're supposed to mix them. So when you get them in a pack like that, you're supposed to mix them.
Yeah, so they have.
I didn't know that.
One's cookies and cream, and the other one's like.
One's cookie dough, and the other one is a cream ale.
So you mix it half and half to get cookies and cream. That's why they give you 2 beers, one of each.
That sounds like that'd be kind of gross.
Yeah, that was one of their higher rated beers, though.
Is it really?
They also had.
I'd never seen that one before.
They also had a Tres Leches beer series. And it was like cake, and you can mix it with like cherry, or you can mix it with different Tres Leches type beer. And that was like, at first when you drank it, you're thinking this is going to be gross. And then afterwards you're thinking, man, this tastes just like
they had
Tres Leches.
One I almost picked up from them. Instead of the cookies and cream, they had a pineapple upside down cake.
From Martin House?
Yeah.
I bet it tastes just like
I know, and that's why I almost got it, but then I was like, oh, cookie dough sounds good. So I picked that one up instead. But I think Delirium Noel, I think this is a really good beer, like just to kind of share during the holidays. It's a good one.
What is that? I got like a dusty, almost a dusty aroma. Is that weird? Do you get that when you...
Let me smell it.
Is it my glass? Because I cleaned the glass beforehand.
No, because I smell it.
It's weird. It's like a... Maybe it's a hoppy, an earthy hop. But
I will say it's not my favorite Delirium beer. Deliria, I think, has hands down got my heart.
It's got your heart. It's good for the holidays for what it is.
Yeah, if you want something that's a little bit darker and spicy, I guess you could say. It's a good sharer.
What is
especially since it's an embalmer.
I really wish I could figure out what that aroma was that I was smelling, but it is what it is. It's good. And we'll move on. So today is Black Christmas 1974.
The original.
The original one. I didn't know there was a remake.
There are 2 remakes. They did one in like 2019, and I haven't seen that one. I saw the 2006 one, and honestly, I was not blown away. I actually thought this one was better.
Oh, really? This
which shows exactly how Brandon thinks about this.
You told me I was going to absolutely hate this movie. And I didn't totally hate it. There were some things about it that I thought were...
cheesy.
Overly cheesy.
Well, for an early slasher movie, they're all cheesy.
That's, if you look at it that way, if it's an early movie... I say early movie. To me, it comes across as another movie made in the early 70s. Like, it has that film quality of like Animal House we were talking earlier. It's got the cheese factor of an early 70s film. It's got... I'm going to say her name's Lois Lane. It's got Lois Lane in it as one of the characters. And so, in a way, it's kind of cool.
And nostalgic.
Exactly. Because of what it is and when it was. Mm-hmm. There were some parts of the movie where, I feel like I'm like clipping. There were some parts of the movie that if you didn't have a timestamp on it, you would think that it's today. Because of all of the...
Really?
Yeah, because of some of the like what people are wearing or the styles. It didn't have anything that just screamed.
Oh, yeah. Well, except the main character did. She did.
Yeah, but like...
But everybody else, yeah, it was kind of like generic. It almost kind of looked 80s a little bit, especially the Lois Lane character. She did not look like she was like from the 70s.
Yeah, and this is early 70s. This isn't... So it came across to me a little bit to be more later than what it was. Mm-hmm. And to be a slasher movie in this early... That's the part that I was like, I can kind of appreciate that. They did a good job for that part. Some of the acting just flat out sucked. And some of the
characters sucked, and some of them were actually very good.
Some of the stuff we'll talk about, it was just, I honestly didn't think we were going to have this much to talk about this movie.
I do think that it's a movie for being as early as it is into the slasher genre. I think it's a little ahead of its time.
I kind of agree with that. Not that I know much about this stuff. But it just came across as they did a good job for what they had to work with back in 1974.
Yeah, and their budget was not very much. They grossed, I can't even remember the percentage. Like, they made $4 million, I think, off the movie, and their budget was like $620,000.
And there's some pretty big people that were in this movie too.
Oh yeah,
AKA Lois Lane.
Yes. So the storyline is that it follows a group of sorority sisters who receive threatening phone calls and are eventually stalked and murdered by a deranged killer during the Christmas season. So at the beginning of this movie, well, okay, so IMDb, I was about to like skip ahead of myself. IMDb scored this 7.2 out of 10. And Rotten Tomatoes, I almost couldn't even find it on Rotten Tomatoes. I had to really look at it. It was at one point renamed Stranger in the House, and that's how Rotten Tomatoes has it labeled, and they gave it a 6.3 out of 10.
Is Stranger in the House what it was originally it was remade into?
So no, it wasn't remade. A channel that, and we're going to talk about this like at the very end. That's like one of the little fun facts about it, but there was a channel that was going to show it, and they renamed it that for a specific reason. I can't remember. I'll have to look back in my notes. But I almost didn't even find it on there. I was like, well, that's weird. I would think this would be on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, this is a pretty culty, classic kind of movie. And then I really read into it, and I was like, oh, they've named it Stranger in the House. But this is a Bob Clark directed movie. He has movies that he's directed. He directed Porky's 1 and 2.
See, it's got that Porky's.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, Porky's has that same exact feel.
You know what I learned today? I've never seen any of those movies, but you know who's in that? Kim Cattrall.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Figures.
I saw her on the list of the cast for that, and I was like, what the hell?
What the hell?
He also directed Baby Geniuses. I remember when that came out.
I don't remember that one.
Loose Cannons and A Christmas Story. A Christmas Story. The Ralphie.
Oh, he did
Shotgun,
that one?
A Christmas Story, yeah.
Okay, so it has that feel.
Yeah, just like a very old, like analog film kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's why I appreciated that part of the movie the most.
Yeah, I like how warm it felt. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know much about that stuff, but immediately when it first started, I was like, oh my god, look at the decorations of that house. That looks so 70s. Look at this, that looks so 70s, and then it's kind of like, all right, well, this is kind of cool because it reminds me of Animal House, Christmas Story, things like that.
Decoration-wise, I was very confused by the tree.
I don't remember anything about the tree.
It was like covered in tinsel. Like the entire tree was like just tinsel hanging. Like you couldn't even see the tree.
Like the silver tinsel stuff?
Yeah.
That was in style back then.
Oh my god, it's hideous.
It was icicles.
Oh, that's what it's supposed to be.
We call it icicles. Yeah, it's supposed to look like it's ice.
Oh, well, it was ugly. Anyway, the cast of characters are Billy, who is played by Albert J. Dunk. Why would you not change your last name? Dunk.
Slam dunk.
But the voice was different. It was voiced by a guy named Nick Mancuso.
And you know what? On the phone calls, some of the things that he was saying on the call is like
bad, dude.
Well, it's like you wouldn't think that they talk like that in '74. Like it sounded like they were talking today.
Yeah, like some of the nasty stuff they were saying. I know.
Yeah. So I mean, I know people talk like that back then, but it just sounded very modern. Some of the stuff he was saying.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, you don't see that in a lot of movies. Like, even in other slasher movies, they don't say stuff like that. In Friday the 13th and Halloween, they don't say, like,
the P word and the C word and
the C word. Yeah. Like, yeah. And like how just the descriptions they made was just vulgar
like
as hell.
It was very vulgar, but like modern slang vulgar, not necessarily back in the 70s.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds weird. Kind of impressed me.
Well, and that's kind of what I meant a few minutes ago when I said I feel like it's ahead of its time, because people didn't talk like that, like before that or since then, as far as movies, until like probably the last like 20 years.
Now, I know they talk like that in Porky's and Animal House and stuff like that, but it wasn't like that. They were being nasty and stuff, but it wasn't like that. And that reminded me of today.
This was like obscene, perverted, nasty. The stuff that they were saying. Yeah,
it was. It's as gross as it was. It kind of impressed me.
But Jess, who's the main character, she's like the scream queen in this movie. She plays Olivia Hussey. She was
Seriously.
I know.
Every time the phone rang, hello, hello. It's like, I know. When you're on the phone, you don't scream like that.
Yeah, I'm just like, hey, what's up? Hello? And she was going, hello, hello. It's like, can you fucking like chill? Like, you don't even know who's on the phone yet. Like, relax.
She was one of the main characters of this movie, and I wasn't impressed with her.
Oh, I thought she was so pretty.
I didn't say pretty.
Oh, as far as the acting? Yeah, I didn't think she was that great.
Yes.
But she was in the original TV miniseries of It by Stephen King. It.
The miniseries of It.
I was starting to like cough. And then she was in Romeo and Juliet from 1968. Are you okay?
Damn, you okay?
And then Lynn Griffin, Claire, who's played by Lynn Griffin, Mrs. Mack, she is the house mother in this, who is like a total freaking lush. Like, my God.
Oh, she
every
loves
room
her,
she went in, she had a freaking hiding spot. Yeah. She had a hiding spot for like a freaking bottle of liquor.
Yeah, she did. She had it like in books and all kinds of stuff.
In the toilet, and then she had it like in her closet. I was like, God damn. Barb is played by Margot Kidder. She was in Superman 2, and the Amityville Horror.
Stop being a bitch and come on.
That was
the point of that?
Because it's funny, first of all, and then it was that lady.
What
the
lady?
Lush.
Oh my God. And then Phil, her name was Phyllis, but everybody called her
That's what I would say. Who's Phil?
Did we say that about something?
No,
that
but every
sounds
time
eerily familiar.
When I say, what's the deal? It's always, what's the deal? You always say it to me. What's the deal? Why do you say it that way?
What the hell? What's your deal?
What's your deal, Phil?
But Phil, who is Phyllis, she's played by Andrea Martin. She is in My Big Fat Greek Wedding 1 and 2. She is Aunt Vula.
Who is what?
Aunt Vula. She was the one that had the black curly hair and that white streak in it.
Oh, like the aunt?
Yes, in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh, the curly hair girl?
Yes.
That's why she looked familiar.
She's also been in Modern Family, Will and Grace. Her IMDb credits were like almost endless. She's been in so many different things. She's in Sesame Street. She
She looks Greek.
Or when she says like, he's like, oh, I'm a vegetarian. She's like, oh, that's okay. I make lamb. It's like, the lamb's fucking meat, but okay. And then Peter, who is Jess's boyfriend, he is played by Keir Dullea.
He was not a good actor.
No, he was an asshole.
He did good portraying an asshole character, but he wasn't that good of an actor.
No, I didn't think so either. Mr. Harrison, who is Claire's father, he's played by James Edmund.
He's also another one that was kind of bad.
Well, he didn't really have a lot of speaking parts in that movie.
Yeah, just in the situation he's in, he just wasn't very
convincing.
Convincing or animated.
Yeah. And then Lieutenant. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you about to say?
No, he's just the whole time very.
Yeah, plateaued as far as the performance. And then Lieutenant Ken Fuller is played by John Saxon.
John Saxon.
He's actually in a bunch of stuff too. He played Nancy's dad on the original Nightmare on Elm Street. He was also a cop on that movie.
Okay.
But I recognize him from a lot of 80s movies. So, anyway, the film opens and they are having a party at their sorority house with their boyfriends. And the opening scene is like a long one with the song and everything. Are they playing Silent Night? Is that what it was?
They played a few songs, but it was like it panned up. Somebody went in the house, I think.
It was very old movie-ish that they did that. It was just, it sat like that for like, like on Gone with the Wind where they'll show a scene and then they play the credits for like 10 freaking minutes before the movie starts. That's kind of what it reminded me of. But anyway, they go inside the house and the party's happening and everything.
It's the whole thing.
What do you mean?
It's the whole thing.
Oh, we could just watch this on YouTube.
Right.
Instead of me paying for Shudder. I feel like an idiot. But they go inside the house. Everybody's drinking, especially Barb.
Is she the lush house watcher or whatever she is, the monitor?
No, Barb is the lush sorority girl. And she actually was drinking in the movie. She convinced that Bob Clark, the director, to drink actual alcohol in those scenes. So she was like actually drunk.
Well, it was convincing a few times.
But they kind of show the outside of the house and there is a guy. Well, it's obviously a guy because it sounds like a guy breathing and stuff. And he's kind of creeping outside the house, breathing really heavily, like he just like had the workout of a lifetime before he got there. He was. And then he like creeps around the house and finds what do you call that? Like a trellis? Like on the side of the house that you climb up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the first thing I thought was, who the hell can actually crawl up one of those things without them breaking on your ass?
I know, because all the ones I've actually seen look like the weakest shit on the planet.
Yeah,
and that was like
is.
That was like a ladder for him, and it conveniently went all the way up to the freaking attic of the house. Did you notice?
And he basically took a tour of the house. Not a single person noticed he was there.
I know.
Like, God.
He was walking from room to room, and I was like, how oblivious are you people? But Barb is on the phone with her mom, and she's going back and forth with her mom because she was going to go home for the holidays, but her mom is taking off with a boyfriend on a vacation, and so she's like, well, fuck it. I'll just have to find other plans. So she invites Jess and Phil to go skiing with her, and they were both like, we've got shit to do. Like, we're not going. And so, anyway, the phone rings again, and it is for Jess, and it is Peter. And Peter's her boyfriend, and she sounds kind of sullen, like all serious and stuff, and she needs to talk to him. And he's like wanting to talk about it right then. She doesn't want to talk about it. So anyway, she hangs up the phone, and all of a sudden they get a call again, and it's from a guy that they call the Moaner. It's like, couldn't you call him something
Moaner
else?
the boner.
It's disgusting. But they keep calling him the Moaner, and then they like gather around the phone and listen to him say stuff, and he is saying like disgusting shit. Like, oh, is this it?
He's expanded his act. Could that be one person? No, Claire, that's the Mormon Tabernacle Choir doing their annual scene.
But he's saying disgusting shit, like, you're piggy cunt. It's like, what the hell does that mean?
Come on, are they going to get to it?
It's just disgusting, the stuff he's saying. And he keeps saying that, like, over and over. Just, like, nasty, vulgar stuff.
Let me lick your pretty piggy cunt.
Like, who says stuff like that? And that's supposed to be one person doing all those voices. In the movie. I think it's obviously a woman and a guy doing it, but for the movie.
I'll come over and you can suck it.
Listen, you pervert, why don't you go over to Lambekai?
Here's a badass.
The badass.
Piggy cunt. You want my fat cock too?
Oh, why don't you go find a wall socket and stick your tongue in it? That'll give you a charge.
I'll stick my tongue up you pretty pussy.
You fucking creep.
I'm going to kill you.
Bitch!
It was just so creepy. And they don't, like, do anything about it, really.
Well, what could you do, honestly?
I don't know.
I mean, you call the police department. They have to be on the line a certain amount of time so somebody can physically walk to the phone company and walk and see who's on the phone and try to trace it that way. It's not like you could, like, star 69 and shit and back.
Well, I would have left.
74.
I would have gone to a hotel or something. I wouldn't have stayed there. And
So what's your deal?
So Claire, who really hasn't made too much of an appearance at this point, other than like with her boyfriend at the very, very beginning.
Is Claire this one? Is that her?
Yes.
Okay.
So she goes up to her room because she's going to pack and she's going to leave for the holidays and meet up with her dad and everything. So she goes to her room.
Starts packing her shit.
And she goes into her closet and this like creep ass is behind her plastic. What is that? Like your laundromat bags.
Your dry cleaning.
Dry cleaning bags. And
she's packing her stuff and he's watching her through the plastic. And
I feel like you could see somebody better than this.
Well, watch this thing though. Like she's packing her shit, right? And then the cat's meowing. And like
meowing.
If I saw
cat's meowing
right there, like I would see that and be like, okay, fuck it, I'm out.
I know.
Like she was like, who's there? Did she say who's there?
Yeah, she said somebody's in here, just come out or something like that. And I was like, these people are brave as hell. Like I have never in my life been this brave.
Oh my God, who's in my closet? I'm gonna go walk over there and see who's, and you can see somebody right there.
I know.
And
it's it's creepy. No, I know. And what kind of a closet is that it has like a back opening to it like that? It's like open back there.
People pack stuff back there. Look at that. You can see him.
I know.
But she keeps on going, who's in? If somebody's in there, I'm going to come see and find you.
So anyway,
and then
should not be a surprise, but he suffocates her with the dry cleaning bag.
Yeah. So she does that.
That part actually scared me. I stayed awake for a second when that happened, and then I fell asleep probably 10 minutes later.
This is the movie that Leah's like, you have to watch this. I'm going to watch this with you. She falls asleep, not even halfway through it.
Stop. I was so tired yesterday. I say that all the time, but I'm tired all the time.
I'm tired today. Okay, so while this is going on, the monitor old lady's downstairs. I guess it's Christmas, and everybody bought her pajamas or something.
Like trying on some weird granny outfit, and like meanwhile Claire's being dragged upstairs by this guy to the attic and like sat in a chair in front of the window, and like nobody seems too concerned
that she's gone.
Yeah.
And nobody even went upstairs to see, like, was she even...
Like, how do you not hear somebody screaming?
Well, they were downstairs having that party.
I know, but still.
She was putting on her pajamas and they're all screaming like, ah, ha, ha. Like,
oh, I guess that's true.
They're having a great time. And after that happens, then the monitor goes, somewhere and finds fucking booze and a book and a toilet.
Yeah. Yeah, she, like... is the most lush person I've ever seen in my life. Like, I think if you have to hide that shit in multiple rooms in the house, you have a problem.
And so at this point, she's dead. The killer obviously takes her up to the attic and puts her up there. The next day, her dad's waiting at the university for her. She's supposed to be meeting him up there. This is the point where I think you fell asleep.
Oh, I think I'm 100% sure I am.
And so...
I woke up and... fell asleep numerous times.
Yes. So he's asking people around, do you know who this person is? Some guy's like, yeah, it's the sorority house down here, blah, 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 blah. And he goes down there to look for him too. The whole time, even when he goes down to the sorority house, it wasn't like somebody said, oh, let me go to her room and see if she's up there. No. I know that she's gone and she went somewhere. Automatically, the town assumes that she and her boyfriend are somewhere getting it on in the cabin somewhere.
Well, yeah, like they don't look in the house at all. Like they look in her room, and that's like it. Like they don't go in the attic. They don't look anywhere.
I didn't see them look in her room.
Yeah, because this is when they look for her in her room. He's like wondering where she's at and stuff. And
this isn't her room, is it?
Uh huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's why she was hiding that. House mom was hiding all that stuff because she didn't want him to see it. So anyway, this is the next day, obviously, and Jess goes to talk to her. This guy is probably one of the biggest jerks I've seen in a movie, ever.
On the phone, she told him that she needs to tell him something, but she can't tell him on the phone.
Yeah.
Needs to in person. Next day, he's getting ready for a piano recital, and she tells him that she's pregnant and she wants to get an abortion. Right? Why are you laughing?
You not just hear that sneeze?
No? Was that downstairs? Oh, my God.
That was funny. It was loud.
Sorry, that's a Belgian strong ale. Highly carbonated. Excuse me.
Well, that's interesting because I didn't do that.
What's your deal? Yes, you did. It was just under your breath.
So anyway, she does go to talk to him about that, and he's like, "No, you're not doing that. You're not doing that."
That he's trying to get ready for, and she breaks it to him. He's like, "You're going to have the baby."
Yeah, like you're not going to
So
get
she
an
wants to
abortion.
have
You're
the
going to have a
baby,
baby. It's
and
like,
he wants to have the baby, and she doesn't. So she's like, "I want to have an abortion."
why are you laughing?
Oh, because
I'm listening.
it's funny. I make myself laugh.
Why is it funny?
Because
I was talking? Oh, I didn't really even notice.
That totally interrupted you like twice.
Oh, I didn't even notice, honestly. I was like, go for it. But it's not even just that he wants something different from that than she does. It's not that at all. It's like, I totally understand why you feel the way you do. I totally understand why she feels the way she does. It's how he went about telling her. It's like, you are just such a controlling asshole.
What, he said, you're going to have this baby?
Yeah, it's not like, can we talk about this? Or, I feel like we shouldn't do that. No, it was, you're going to have this baby and we are going to get married. And it's like,
motherfucker, I don't think so.
You're not the boss of me, bitch. And it doesn't really seem like we're in a committed relationship, really.
He's like, what say so do I have in this? You can't do something without telling me or whatever, something like that.
Which I do understand the sentiment. If you are in a relationship with somebody and like you weren't going to tell them about something like that, like I feel like that is like kind of fucked up. But at the same time, like, I don't know. Like there was just, I burped.
Did you?
I thought that's why you looked at me.
Oh my God, I got a big one. Oh my God, that felt good.
But just his overall attitude in the movie is just like really controlling. He just seems abusive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Didn't you get that from him?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure I did. And then, then she walks off.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anyhow.
Silence.
I wonder if we need to edit out some of those dead spots or just let it be. But she walks out, and I guess she goes back to the house, and she has another call, right?
Yes.
So they decide to go to the police about it. Her and the chick from My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah, and they keep talking. They keep talking about, and I was very confused by these phone calls. By the end of the movie, I still didn't understand what the fuck was happening on these phone calls. Like they were talking about somebody named Agnes. They were talking about Billy, which I guess obviously Billy's the character that's making these phone calls. But who the fuck is Agnes?
I don't know. Is
it like his alter ego woman voice? Like I didn't understand what it was.
Well, it's strange because. Yeah, we'll keep on going because I'll tell you at the end what made it the whole thing's kind of weird.
Oh, you understood it at the end?
No, I still don't understand that stuff.
Oh.
It's just the fact that we'll get there talking about the weird stuff. Yeah.
But at this point, Jess was in the house. I think she thought like by herself, and when she was answering these phone calls, or she was on the phone, and then the guy hung up, and then all of a sudden Peter comes downstairs like he had somehow gotten in the house. And she's like freaked out by that, obviously, because like, how the hell did you get in here? And it's kind of weird that you're all of a sudden here when somebody is creepy and just got off the phone with me, Yeah,
he just walks up and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Well, I'm just having a nap." It's like, "Oh, you're napping. Everybody's dying, but you're napping." But
that was kind of the insinuation there, was that's when you're supposed to start thinking that maybe it's him that's making these calls.
Yeah.
And then he kind of disappears for a while. Like he just goes outside and he's like lurking around the house and stuff in the snow.
Hello?
This is that.
Hello?
There she goes screaming.
Oh, hell, not again.
Billy!
Yeah, it's just...
Oh, that's not the right
Billy?
one. Yeah. So every time she gets on the phone, she screams, "Hello! Hello!"
But while that's happening, Phil and Barb
Belle.
take Claire's dad to the police station to report that Claire is missing, and everybody's kind of going around town asking people if they know where she's at. And
That's the cop that said, when we always have people go missing, but when this happens, they're in a cabin with their boyfriend.
Yeah.
They said it to the dad too, and they're
But who says something like that? Like you would think that no matter what somebody comes up and tells you, you would have some kind of genuine concern. Like you wouldn't just blow it off.
Lieutenant Ken Fuller does that.
That wasn't the lieutenant. That was Sergeant Nash.
Is that on here?
Lieutenant Ken Fuller. He's
It's
like the head
investigator
detective.
guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sergeant Nash is that annoying blonde guy that's like always at the police station. The dumb one.
Yes, the guy at the very front.
Yes. And maybe I'm stupid here, but when he asked for a phone number for contact from them, that Barb lady gives him.
Phone numbers used to come in letters too.
So anyway, back at the sorority house, Mrs. Mack, the house mother, tells Jess that Claire is missing. So Jess goes to see Chris while he is at hockey practice. Chris is Claire's boyfriend, and he seems mad about it, and he is mad. But he also at the same time doesn't seem like very concerned about it.
Yeah.
And I totally did not know what that meant. But he joins. Quit pointing that out. But they all join a search party, and that night they're all out at this park looking for Claire, trying to figure out where she is. And they end up finding the body of this girl, and I think they said it was like a high school girl, but then like the rest of the movie they were saying it was a little girl.
I was about to say, I thought they said it was a little girl, but they did say both.
Yeah. And so I thought that was kind of confusing, but the girl's name is Janice. They don't show her body or anything like that, but obviously she's been killed, and you just assume as the movie goes on that she was the first victim of this guy. But
they didn't necessarily even say that the guy's the one that did this.
No, they didn't, but that's what the implication is that he's out just killing a bunch of people. And
so at this point, I was thinking, oh my God, how many times do you have to make a movie about one person that died? I know that sounds bad, but one person has died at this point, and it's like the whole movie is centered around one person.
I know.
It's like, come on.
And it felt like the rest of it was just like hurried up. So they go back to the sorority house and they have dinner with Claire's dad. I just thought this whole thing with her dad was so bizarre, because you would think that like you wouldn't be sitting down to have dinner. Like you'd be out looking for your kid, like tirelessly trying to find her. And
they go back, and that's when the house lady, whatever, she's doing something. She's getting ready, and she keeps hearing the cat meowing.
Yeah.
And she's like, where are you at? Or why are you upstairs? Or why are you in the attic?
Yes. And the cat is upstairs jumping all over and licking all over Claire.
Yeah, that's kind of gross. You know, it's kind of weird.
It is gross.
There was no kind of decomposing whatsoever. You know,
no, I noticed that. Like at all.
They could have put some makeup on to make it more believable. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, something. I mean, at this point, it was like, what, like 2.5 days? Like,
it looked exactly like,
done.
And you could tell, like, one scene that she was sitting there, she wasn't posed the same way as she was the previous time that they showed her. Mm-hmm. It's like, you could tell there was some change in the way she looked and the way she was posing. It was kind of funny. So, anyway, the housekeeper goes up and she's like, why are you in the attic? And she opens the thing. She sees the girl, whatever her name is, sitting in the chair, dead. And then she turns her head and sees the killer. And he swings a hook.
Yeah, and like pulls her up in the most cartoon-ass thing I've ever seen. Like you see her legs like fly up the opening of the attic, and it's like, come on.
Because people have those things in their attic.
What things?
The hook thing. Nobody has that shit in their attic.
I know.
It looks like something you keep in a barn, not in your attic.
It looks like a fishing hook, like a fisherman's hook, tied to this whatever you would call it.
Yeah,
it was just ridiculous looking.
It was pretty cheesy.
And so anyway, she does see Claire up there, but obviously nothing's done about it because she gets pulled up there not too long
he
after
swings
she
the
sees
hook,
her.
hits her, and then it pans to the attic door. You see her feet just going up.
Yes.
It's like, it was pretty bad.
And not too long after this, they finally get the idea to put a tap on the phone. And I wonder if they still do it that way. Because he took the phone apart and everything. No, I didn't think they probably did.
They can do all that stuff with the switch now.
Yeah, I
or
thought so.
Computer.
This when we were watching this part, I was like, this is so Sopranos. So Sopranos.
Hello? Hello? Who is this?
Oh, damn, you okay?
When you watch this by yourself, it's creepy as shit to listen to that.
What do you want? Why are you doing this?
Because since I had to watch this,
shit.
since I had to watch this the rest of it by myself today while you were working, since I fell asleep last night, I was sitting in your room on my phone
What are you
like
doing?
shaking.
Stop this!
But you know what? I kind of like the fact that there's no context to like what the fuck he's talking about.
Is it? I mean, you talking about Billy and she talking about
And
somebody.
Agnes,
Yeah, I don't
and then,
understand
like,
that part.
the pig squealing and the vulgar language and stuff. Like, I think it makes it way more scary to like not know what the fuck they're talking about.
So this movie scared you.
The phone call part did. Like, when he kills people and stuff, that didn't scare me. But, like, the phone calls and stuff did. Because that's really creepy.
That's good to know that the killing didn't scare you. It was a phone call.
Well, it was just, the killing was cheesy. You know?
Yeah, I agree with you. Here's that part where he walks down while she's on the phone.
Peter?
Peter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Peter the asshole. I would argue that he's just about as bad as the killer.
Peter the Peter. Peter's such a Peter.
Peter the Pooter. He was horrible. He really was. But they end up tapping the phones and everything after the lieutenant and everybody comes over to the house. And lost my train of thought.
Did you?
I did. And so they did tell Jess, they said, you have to keep him on the phone as long as you can because we need to be able to trace this. And a couple of times they get on the phone and it seems like they're on there for like a good amount of time. And then they're like, oh, well, we weren't able to trace it.
They also put somebody outside the house at this time too, right? A
Yes.
police officer to
Yes,
watch the house and make sure.
A cop.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know, and I don't think we mentioned this, they did not know that the calls were coming from inside the house.
I thought you weren't supposed to say that yet.
Well, they were.
So back then in
But
74.
that was kind of the explanation for why having the cop outside the house like didn't work.
Yeah, but back then in 74, it was extremely uncommon to have two phone lines in a house.
Yeah.
B, you didn't have somebody just suddenly go upstairs and establish a phone line to call you. Didn't work that way back then.
Well, it was already an established phone line.
Right, but they're saying the calls are coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
One line's already being used. It's calling the line to make the call. There had to be two phone lines to do that back then.
Yeah. It was the other phone line was in that house mother's room. She had a separate phone line than the one downstairs in her room.
Okay, I didn't catch that part of it.
Yeah, the drunk one.
So she had her own phone.
Yeah, the house mother did, and that's the phone that he was calling from. So he was creeping down from the attic and using that phone to call them. But it's this like town-wide search that they're having while she's trapped inside the house having to answer this phone to keep him on the phone long enough. Barb is in her room
Taking a little nap.
sleeping off her drunken escapades, and then Phil is with Jess downstairs, kind of keeping her company. And
She starts making noises upstairs, having a nightmare.
yes, Barb does. And so Jess goes up there to try to comfort her and stuff, and she leaves her to go downstairs because she hears carolers. And it's like, okay, yeah, in the middle of all this, let's go downstairs and answer the door to carolers. I hate answering the door, so I definitely wouldn't do that, especially if I'm worried about somebody getting in the house.
Would you in 1974, though?
Probably not. I hate talking to people.
You don't know that.
I do know that. So she leaves Barb upstairs by herself, and while the kids are singing carols,
when they're doing when she's consoling her after her nightmare, she gives her inhaler. They keep pointing, or they keep focusing on that unicorn.
Yeah.
You know that's going to come up next. Like, they do it. It's like, okay, I know she's going to get killed, and I know it's going to be that damn unicorn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you just so smart?
I'm the observant one.
But yeah, while the carolers are caroling,
See? Right there.
you see the silhouette of this guy come into the room with Barb.
They show his face in a second, too.
They do?
Yeah, watch. Right here. We're just as we're kind of watching it as we're talking about it, too. So she wakes up, and you can see his face. Come on now. He grabs the unicorn. He's grabbing the unicorn.
Ever so firmly.
Okay, here he goes.
Oh, yeah, you kind of see his face.
So he doesn't look like anybody in the movie.
No, he doesn't.
Okay. So you automatically, I knew at this point it was nobody they knew.
Yeah, it was not that Peter guy.
It wasn't Peter.
And he stabs her like several times with this unicorn thing. What a way to go out. How lame is that?
Being stabbed by a glass unicorn.
Yeah. But I thought it was very artsy how they did this scene. I thought it was very, I don't know how to explain it, just like very aesthetic.
Cinematic.
Yeah,
It was very cinematic the way he
It was
killed
very,
her.
very dramatic. And somehow they don't go back up to Barb's room to check on her after she had a freaking asthma attack. Like, you would think that you would go up there and be like, hey, are you okay? Are you feeling better? Like, are you getting worse? Nothing. So Jess and Phil, like, are trying to keep this guy on the phone while Barb is, like, just dying upstairs. And it's going back and forth between her, the police station trying to figure out who is on the phone with her, and then, like, Phil or whoever, like, she's running around the house locking windows and doors and stuff. Well, she finally goes up to Barb's room because while she's locking a window or a door, she sees that door shut. And it's like, okay, if you are so worried about something happening and somebody getting into your house, why are you following something after you're calling somebody's name and they're not answering? Why would you follow that sound and see, like, that door closed?
She wants to make sure everything's okay.
So she goes in there and
I'm like you. I'm the fuck out.
Obviously immediately gets killed.
She has that look like, oh shit. Oh shit.
Oh, shit. And so I think they told her on the phone that Sergeant Nash, he called her and told Jess just to leave the house. He didn't give her any kind of context as to why she needed to leave the house, but then finally told her that the call was coming from inside the house.
Yeah, he's
when a stranger calls.
Yeah, and so she starts screaming names.
Have you seen that?
When a stranger calls?
Yes.
You know I haven't seen that.
Oh my God. This is that totally inspired When a Stranger Calls. That's what the whole freaking premise of this movie is. And I mean, not to this extent. It's not a sorority house. But anyway, so he's telling her to leave and she's like, well, I have to get my friends. I'm sorry, but I'm out. If a cop tells me to do something, especially if I'm going to get killed. Yeah. I mean, that sounds bad, but still. And so she's like, well, I'm just going to get a fire poker and I'm going to go upstairs and see if they're okay.
A fire poker?
And isn't that what it is?
I don't know.
And she goes up to Barb's room and, like, they are, like, in this entangled mess on Barb's bed. Phil and Barb. Did you notice that? It looked like they were twisted up together.
Oh, you mean when they find her?
Yeah, when she goes up there to look for them after the cop told her to leave.
I don't remember that.
Oh my God, it's like weird.
I saw when she's in the basement.
Yeah, so this was like right before that. So
okay, he says, go ahead and leave. And she's calling them.
Yeah, after she goes in there, she looks through, like, the crack in the door.
Oh.
Isn't that weird? She looks through the crack of the door, and it's that guy, that Billy guy on the phone. It's his eyes, and they're, like, red. You don't remember that?
No, I do not remember that. How do you... Oh, there it is.
Ooh, it's so creepy looking. Ooh. And so she obviously freaks out, closes the door on him, and then she runs down to the basement, which is not where I would go. I would try to figure out another fucking way out of the house.
They told her to get out of the house. I'm going to go to the basement now.
Well, she tries to get out of the front door, and it's like locked. I'm like, how the fuck is it locked from the inside or from the outside when it's your front door?
I like how fast the cops are driving to get there.
I know, like nobody's in a hurry. And so she goes down to the basement, and she thinks that, because she's seeing this guy like creep around the basement windows, like on the exterior of the house, and she thinks it's the guy trying to kill her. And it turns out to be Peter. And I thought that scene where he's at the window, like calling her name, was creepy as shit. I'd be scared of him too. And he breaks into the basement through one of the windows and crawls in there, and she ends up killing him.
It doesn't show how she kills him either, though.
No.
It's just obviously cuts to the police trying to get in the house.
But at this point, you think he's the creepy caller. Like, you think it's going to end because he just seems very guilty. He just really does.
Oh, he's dead now.
Even though he doesn't look like that guy, you kind of just assume that it is him because everything that he's doing is just so creepy.
He's such an asshole.
Well, and it's just weird. Like, I don't know anybody that acts like that. And so she kills him. You think it's over. Everybody's with her in her room at the very end. And she's like passed out. They gave her like a sedative or something. And everybody ends up leaving because Claire's dad goes into like shock while he's sitting in the room with her. And I don't know why, because it's not his kid. And he goes into shock. So
at this point,
like,
he still doesn't know his daughter's dead.
No. And that's another thing. Nobody ever once by the end of this movie went up to the basement and found those other two. Mm-mm. Nobody.
They didn't search the house. They did nothing. So we think that their killer's dead, but they still didn't check the house for any clues or anything like that.
Yeah, so it pans out of the room after everybody's left her. You hear people leave out of the front door, but you do see a cop at the very end standing outside. But it's like, what good is that going to do? Because he's still inside the house. And you hear the laughing and the really creepy voices and shit still up in the attic, so you know that he's still in the house and she's in there by herself. Yeah. And that's just kind of how the movie ends, and it pans out and you see the attic and Claire is still fucking up there in the window. Yep. Nobody ever did anything.
Claire in the housekeeper, whatever she is, the
housekeeper,
what was
the
she?
house mother. The house mother.
The house mama.
Yes. So some fun facts about this movie. NBC had scheduled this movie for its primetime network debut on January 28th, 1978 under the title Stranger in the House.
This was on national television?
Apparently.
I can only imagine what the call said.
I know. It's a nasty movie. I can't even believe that they tried to put it on like primetime TV. On January 15th, 1978, 2 female students at Florida State University were murdered by an assailant who broke into the sorority house where they lived. 3 other young women in the immediate vicinity were attacked and assaulted. NBC received numerous pleas from locals to pull the movie from broadcast in light of the crimes, and after first stating that they would offer the local affiliates an alternative movie to broadcast, they decided to just pull the plug on the movie altogether. Instead, the film Doc Savage, Man of Bronze was shown. What the fuck is that?
You've never seen Doc Savage?
I've never even heard of it.
Okay, well, you're not missing anything.
NBC instead ran Stranger in the House as the late movie on May 14th of the same year. The perpetrator of the crimes at Florida State University was later identified as serial killer Ted Bundy.
Oh, damn.
Isn't that scary?
That's crazy.
Also, this movie is listed at number 87 on Bravo Channel's 100 Scariest Movie Moments.
I don't know about that.
And it's considered one of the earliest slasher films and would later inspire John Carpenter's Halloween franchise. But if you watch When a Stranger Calls, it's very much this movie. Very much. There's not vulgar things being said or anything like that, but it's the breathing and it's the creepy shit and somebody's inside the house.
I mouth breathe on the mic.
But yeah, that was Black Christmas and Delirium's Noel Belgian Dark Strong.
Yeah, good beer, weird movie. So I guess what now we have to make sure that people follow us on Instagram and
Facebook at Booze and Bloodshed. You can also email us at boozeandbloodshed@gmail.com. You can send us messages What?
I didn't say anything.
You can send us messages on Instagram, Facebook, or at our Gmail for suggestions for movies. Are you okay?
Huh?
Are you good?
Yeah.
For movies, for drink options, or for true crime cases, we'd really be interested to know what y'all would want to hear about. We'd love to talk about it. So we will see y'all next time.
Yeah. Booze and blood. Bees.
Bees.
Booze and bloodshed out.
Peace.